Hello, everyone. It is Thursday, November 6th, 2025. I am Annika Spalding, the Community Relations Director here at the Amarillo Little Theater, and this is Thursdays at 3, where I go live every single Thursday to get you caught up on what's happening this week at ALT. This season, Thursdays at 3 is generously sponsored by our friends at Realty Central Services. Cindy Bulla is the owner and broker of Realty Central and is a longtime supporter and champion of ALT. Realty Central is a women-owned full-service real estate brokerage providing unparalleled customer service backed by decades of experience, industry service, and property rights advocacy. So if you're in need of real estate service and you love ALT, consider heading over to amarillo.realestate and using Realty Central Services. It is preview night for Ragtime here at ALT. I love the buzz of energy in the theater on opening weekend. It really is electric up here. A reminder that since tonight is preview night, tickets are buy one, get one free. As always, students are always buy one, get one free, but everyone gets to play on preview night. So make sure if you are planning on seeing Ragtime and you haven't yet purchased your tickets, consider coming tonight and get buy one, get one free tickets. We are so excited to open this show. Our good friend Vanessa Hill says, yay, happy Thursday, my busy, beautiful friend. You and your family are doing amazing. Thank you so much, Vanessa. It's so great to talk to you. When are you coming to Ragtime? I want to know. Let me know. Okay, Ragtime will run at the Alan Shankles main stage tonight through November 16th. So make sure and get your tickets if you need that information. You can call our box office at 806-355-9991 or head over to our website to purchase your tickets at amarillo.theater.org. Okay, this is very exciting. ALT will have, our production of Ragtime will have an ASL interpreted show on Sunday, November 16th at 2:30. I thought I had a little graphic for that, but I guess I don't. Interpreters will be located on the left side of the theater when you're facing the stage to have your seats moved if you've purchased tickets already, but you'd like to come to the ASL interpreted performance. If you'd like to get your tickets moved to the deaf or hard of hearing section, please email our volunteer coordinator, Lissa. Let me get her information up here, Lissa at amarillo.theater.org, or visit the ALT box office after if you've already purchased your tickets. They can get those switched around for you. Absolutely no problem at all. And check out ALT for free. All you need is a library card from one of our participating libraries, and you can check out ALT tickets for Ragtime. They are currently available for checkout for the performances tonight, Thursday, November 6th, and this Sunday, November 9th. For more information, you can head over to our website or call our box office. So tonight, tickets are buy one, get one free, or you can go to the library and potentially, if they still have availability, check out your tickets and all your tickets will be free. I love this program. I think it's so great. We're trying to make our performances accessible to absolutely everybody. There is no reason why anybody should be excluded from ALT. We love incorporating all of our community members to get involved at ALT, whether that's seeing shows or volunteering for us on stage, backstage. We have a place for you at ALT. We're so, so grateful for that, and grateful to our community for participating at ALT. We couldn't do anything that we do without you guys. So also, there will be no work call this weekend. Thank you so much to everyone for all the hard work you've put in for Ragtime. Enjoy some time away, but if you'd like to help out with ushering or concessions, we need tons of help this weekend. I posted on the ALT Warriors page on Facebook earlier. If you are not currently following the ALT Warriors Facebook page, go ahead and ask, and we will let you join that Facebook group. That is where we post a lot of our volunteer opportunities to get involved with us in a volunteer capacity. I posted on the ALT Warriors page the Sign Up Genius link to sign up to help us out with ushering and concessions. Please sign up there or contact our volunteer coordinator, Lissa Guerin. I'll put her information up here once again. And if we have open seats the night that you help with ushering or concessions, you can see the show that night completely for free. We are always so grateful for any volunteer help that we can get. And this weekend, we really, really need help. We've got big audiences. So we could really use your help if you don't mind, especially for Saturday and Sunday. We need help everywhere, but especially for Saturday and Sunday. I'm about to sneeze. It's coming. I can feel it. Nope, it's gone. Okay. Auditions for The Cottage are coming up next week. We're so excited about this show, November 10th and 11th at the Alan Shankles main stage. That audition packet is now live on our website. If you love a funny, witty British comedy directed by Cy Scroggins, then you are absolutely going to love this one. We want to see tons and tons of people at auditions next week. So get geared up for that. And make sure to watch out for our posts for our upcoming Panhandle Gives campaign. The Panhandle Gives will go from November 24th through December 2nd. And our 2025 campaign is called The Climb of the Century. As many of you know, ALT is nearly 100 years old. And this year we are setting our largest goal yet, $50,000. Remember that anything you donate to ALT during the Panhandle Gives will be amplified thanks to generous donors at the Amarillo Area Foundation. So that is the perfect time to support your favorite community theater during the Panhandle Gives. We love you guys so much. And don't forget to sponsor a seat. We are so excited about this new initiative that we have to raise funds for the theater, where you can preserve your support for ALT's century-long tradition of storytelling by sponsoring a seat in the historic Alan Shankle's main stage, commemorated with a permanent plaque elegantly inscribed with your name or the name of a loved one, a lasting tribute to our 100-year legacy. We have already had so many people participate in this fundraiser. We're so grateful for that. If you've got your tickets for Ragtime, you're going to get to see our first round of plaques on the armrests of the seats. They're so beautiful. Shout out to Preston Moore for helping us with that. We'll chat with him a little bit later. We're so grateful to everyone who has helped us out by supporting the theater in that way. Consider getting a gift for your graduating senior, or if this place means something to you, call our box office and tell them you want to engrave a plaque for our sponsor a seat campaign. We would absolutely love that. And those funds are so great to help the theater. We can do so much with that money, especially ahead of our centennial celebration. It's going to be a big celebration in 2 years. We're really excited about that. But let's keep things moving with our volunteer of the week. All right. Congratulations to Sarah PB. We love Sarah Pennington Boer. Sarah is our AD for Ragtime. And if you know Sarah, you love her. She works so hard and is awesome to work with. We love you so much, Sarah. And we are so glad that you're in the ALT family. What a dream come true to have her in any show, in any capacity. We absolutely love Sarah, and she has been a brilliant addition to the production team of this show. Absolutely brilliant. But let's keep things moving with some breaking Broadway news. All right. Casey Levy has announced that she will no longer be starring in the Broadway premiere of The Lost Boys, a new musical, stating that entering the lengthy rehearsal and preview process right now is just not possible for her family. Let's move right into the next little tidbit here. I'm thinking this might have something to do with the reason she had to drop out of The Lost Boys. The Broadway revival of Ragtime at Lincoln Center has extended into June 2026 due to popular demand. Casey is, of course, playing Mother in that production. So, that might have had something to do with it. I just felt like that was a little timely since we're opening Ragtime tonight and they're extending. Very, very exciting. Vanessa says, I adore Sarah Christine Pennington Boer. She is amazing. Agreed. We love Sarah around here. But let's keep going with my little interview with my castmates here. I'm so excited to welcome my guests for Thursdays at 3 today. Cast members from Ragtime, Jacob Miller and Preston Moore. Hello, my friends.
Hi, Annika.
How's it going?
Good. I'm so glad to chat with you guys today. I know we're all really excited here at the theater. It's buzzing around here. Do you guys feel excited about preview night and having an audience finally?
Oh, yeah. Very excited. It'll be nice to have some reaction to what we're doing.
Yeah. I can't believe it's here. I feel like I blinked and all of a sudden we're going to have an audience tonight. It's crazy.
I know. It feels like we auditioned just last week.
It flew, didn't it? It really flew. I know. I feel like I haven't done enough soaking in of it. I feel like we're going to blink and it's going to be Sunday afternoon, the final performance. I don't even want to think about that. I'm not ready for that. Okay. First, I want to ask you guys how you're doing now that we've arrived at preview night. Are we healthy? Are we happy? Are we excited? All the things?
All the things. Happy and healthy.
Yeah,
good,
definitely all the things. I can't wait. Healthy, happy, excited, ready to go. It's crazy that it's here. That's just mind-blowing.
Yeah, totally wild. Okay, I love to ask my guests about their daytime identities. Jacob, what do you do during the day when you're not at the theater?
I am the associate pastor for First Christian.
Love that. Love that. And Preston, I understand you took a major test this week.
I did. Yeah,
You want to
did.
fill us in on that?
That's true. Yeah, no, I did. I took the LSAT just yesterday, actually, right before rehearsal, and then I flipped it right to ALT. So, yeah, hoping to go to law school next year and kind of start building those blocks toward the future. That's kind of my daytime identity right now.
Well, good
Oh
for
my
you.
gosh. Yeah, that is so exciting. And we're glad to have you at ALT while we can get you while you're not so super crazy busy, too busy to do it. Okay, Jacob, tell us who you play in the show and tell us a little bit about him.
Okay, I play Father. Father is the leader of one of the three families that are involved in Ragtime, the New Rochelle family, an upper class white family in New York. Father is very stuck in with tradition, probably a man of his times, I think would be fair to say.
Mhm.
I get to play opposite the lovely host of this program, Annika Spalding. And did I leave anything out?
I don't think so. I think you pretty much covered it. Okay, Preston, tell us a little bit about younger brother.
Yeah, so my character, younger brother, is also a part of that same family. We're all we share a couple scenes together. The three of us do.
Those are my
younger. They're my favorite as well. I think younger brother is a lot of fun for me. He's like this, rich white kid essentially, and grows up to become radicalized politically and kind of butts heads with father a little bit, Jacob, which I know that you and I both really enjoy geting to do that.
We enjoy those moments.
Yeah, it's a lot of fun. And then sort of finds his way. His opening line in the show is that he's looking for something to believe in, and I think that just sort of sets the stage for his character for the remainder of the entire show. And it's interesting because he just goes on this big arc from beginning to finish. He's kind of a totally different character by the end of it. So that's younger brother.
Yeah. And just to clarify for anyone, this is explained in the show, but younger brother is my younger brother.
Yeah. I didn't mention that.
Yeah. I love our scenes all together too. And I love that, my character has this connection with, the Harlem group through my association with Sarah, played by Sarai Dinkins, who is absolutely incredible. And you have this connection, Preston, your character has this connection with your beliefs and how you get connected with the immigrant community through your encounter with Emma Goldman. It's just very cool when you sit and watch the show to see how all of these different groups come together and sort of unify in a way, kind of a metaphor for what we all need to be doing, really, I think. Okay, Preston, you are a former Academy student, and I told you this last night, but I am so happy to have you back on our stage. I'm always so grateful, especially when we can rope in former Academy students back into the main stage adventure space side of things. What is it like to come back to the main stage after graduating the Academy and jumping back in after so long away?
Yeah, that's a great question. I mean, it's been 8 years since I was in a show, which is kind of crazy. And yeah. I wasn't even going to audition for Ragtime. That's the whole thing. I was not planning on it until I think like less than 48 hours before auditions. I went to Frozen and Jason was there. And I told him, I was like, I'm free at night these days. If you guys need anything, any help with any shows. And I did not think at the time, I was like, I can't sing. It's been 8 years. I'm not going to go out there and sing in front of a bunch of people. There's no way.
Yeah.
And Jason convinced me, Jason and Harrison Stringer convinced me. Jason convinced me like in the Turk lobby after that Frozen show on like a Saturday afternoon. And I ended up auditioning. It's been crazy. It's been a very, very unique experience. I remember my last Academy show 8 years ago was Beauty and the Beast, and all of the seniors kind of get to say their piece in the last show and everything, and it's always very tearful and all of that. But yeah, I remember saying at that time, I was so inspired by that show and by my time at ALT, but by Beauty and the Beast in particular, that one thing I said to everybody was like, you guys have inspired me not only to like stay on stage. I wasn't planning on studying theater, and I didn't study theater, but to eventually, make it a goal to be back on this stage, to be back at ALT. And I have remembered that for 8 years, and it's crazy to make that a reality, because there were, a lot of times in Oklahoma and Orlando and New York when I tried to be on stage and just didn't work out with my schedule or whatever the case may be. And so it's a very full circle moment, from that moment 8 years ago when I kind of promised myself that I would be back on this stage, especially thinking that I never would. So it's been really, really cool. And it's so great to share the stage with you guys. Y'all's talent, along with, some of the other performers that you've mentioned in this cast, is just, it's unbelievable. And it just makes it so much more special.
Well, and I have to say too, no surprise with you being a former Academy student, but your commitment is so obvious to what you're doing on stage. And I love watching you in some of your scenes with Jacob, just the commitment to the material, the passion that you exude when you're saying your lines and you're so in character. I really love being on stage with someone who's willing to commit like that, because it makes such a huge difference in the overall scheme of things. But it definitely makes a difference when you're on stage with someone that committed. I want to ask you, since you are a former Academy student, what would you say the Academy offered you aside from the training in theater? Like, what would you say that you took away from the Academy that's helped you in your professional life as you've moved forward away from the Academy?
That is a great question. I learned so many things. I mean, being in the Academy gave me confidence. It gave me, togetherness, teamwork. I learned so many things that, I had learned beforehand, but really just from a completely different perspective. I didn't join the Academy until I was 15. I was a sports kid. And then when I was 15, stopped playing sports, needed something else to do outside of school. And so I joined the Academy. And even then it was like a very big 180 from my entire life and branching into something that I had really never even considered trying at the time. And so, yeah, being in the Academy taught me a ton, and learning under Jason at the time. And, it's so cool now. Like, I graduated with Harrison Stringer, and now he's the Academy director, and him and I have been friends for now over 10 years, which is crazy.
So cool.
But getting to like see it from his perspective now, and the way that he's leading the Academy now, and knowing that he's pulling from a lot of those experiences that we had and a lot of those lessons that we learned. And you do learn that theater training. You obviously, so much talent I didn't even know I had was pulled out of me through the Academy. But beyond that, it's such a welcoming community. It's a welcoming community in a way that I had never really experienced in my life before, and just learning so many tangible lessons that, I've been able to apply later in life, whether it was through school or eventually, I worked on TV for the last 3 years here in town, and the Academy helped with that a ton. And so things like that, there's so many ways that the Academy can be beneficial. And it was really, really special time.
Well, I'm so grateful we had you in the Academy, and now that we have you back, I want to get to a few comments. Our castmate Michelle says, I can't wait to do my scenes with Preston more. I love your guys' energy. Love that, Michelle. Michelle is such an encourager. You're always here on Thursdays at 3. I'm so glad that you're here, Michelle, and I'm so glad.
Talk about energy on stage.
I mean, and off stage too. I come off stage and he's ready with a high five, like ready to go. He comes out of nowhere with a high five. I love it. I love it so much. And Vanessa says, so Facebook Live froze, but it's working on here. Yes, I got a little notification on here that it's having this program is having trouble streaming to Facebook for some reason today. So if anyone was watching from there, try YouTube, but hopefully it'll come back on here pretty soon. Jacob, I'd really like to ask you, I know you're not a former Academy student, but is there anything that you've taken away from, you've spent so much time doing shows at ALT, playing in our orchestras, helping to accompany for auditions before. What are some things that you've taken away from your time at ALT that have benefited you in your personal life?
Well, just I think the ability to be able to be around people, and when you're at ALT, you're forced to talk to people, interact with people, make friendships. And so it just increases your social awareness, I think. And also, not all of us are in necessarily diverse realms. So when you come to ALT, you are in a diverse realm, in a diverse area with lots of people from lots of different backgrounds. And so you get to interact with all those people and become better for it.
You know, I love that you mentioned that, Jacob, because, you know, we talk about Ragtime and the fact that it's a story about sort of the American melting pot. And I really like to think of ALT as like a little microcosm of a melting pot. You know, Amarillo is a bit of a melting pot. We've got a big refugee community, Hispanic community, African-American community, and ALT blends a lot of different. We've got the LGBTQ, we've got African-American, we've got Hispanic, we've got white, of course, we've got all kinds of different communities coming together. And that is so, so true. You participate at ALT, you're going to get to be exposed to all different kinds of people. And it really makes you a better person, such a more well-rounded person.
Absolutely. Get introduced to people you may not be able to come across in your own day-to-day lives.
Definitely. It can be easy to be in a bubble.
Right.
Here in Amarillo, and ALT will rip you right out of that, which is great. Really, really great. And we get more and more diverse every year, which I absolutely love. Okay, Jacob, I want to know, tell me what it is about Ragtime that drew you to audition.
I have been a fan of Ragtime for a very long time. And I remember when it came out in the late 90s, and I remember knowing it in college. And, this is one of my favorite songs. I remember that I would listen to over and over again was New Music. And now I get to sing it. And so it's just a remarkable story with beautiful music and beautiful scenes that we get to participate in. And I knew when it was on the season that it was definitely one that I wanted to try out for. And you need singers for it. And you understand what I'm saying. All musicals need singers, but this requires a different kind of singing. And so that was pretty exciting.
Oh, for sure. For sure. Preston, what about you? What drew you to audition for Ragtime? You said you almost didn't and you were convinced to, but was there anything, did you know the show beforehand?
Not at all.
Oh my gosh. Wow.
Totally different. Totally opposite from Jacob. I didn't know a single thing about Ragtime beforehand. It was literally just Jason, you know, telling me you should audition. I talked to Harrison a little bit about it. They both kind of encouraged me and, you know, kind of just worked up the courage. I had said I'd been living back in Amarillo for 3 years, but I've been working at night. And so I've said for that entire time that for those 3 years, if I didn't work at night, that the worst part of my job working at night was that I couldn't do anything involved with ALT. It just kind of took away any volunteer opportunities at ALT on a semi-regular basis. Couldn't even do crew for something. I mean, there just wasn't any realistic ability to do that working night every single day. And so I just, you know, I was like, I would be a hypocrite if I didn't at least audition. If I don't get in, I don't get in, whatever. We'll see how it goes. It's been 8 years. I don't know. When the cast list was posted, I originally, you know, I didn't expect to get a role at all. My goodness. I was like, just, you know, hopefully I get on some. I got something to do for the next 3 weeks or the next, you know, 2 months at night. I didn't see my name on the ensemble and I was like, I didn't get cast. I'll try again next time.
Oh my gosh. Didn't even think to look at the leads. Yeah.
No, it was like, that was the biggest surprise in the world. So it was not expected whatsoever. So yeah, pretty different from Jacob. I didn't know anything about Ragtime. I watched, funny enough, I watched the first act before I auditioned, and then I auditioned, and then I watched the second act before callbacks, and I was like, oh, there's a lot more that I missed. So, but it's been so good to learn the show originally and obviously getting into it with everybody. And I mean, you talked about why it's important, this show specifically being important. And it just, it helps with some of that energy, commitment, and passion that you were talking about is being passionate about the material itself. And finding that early on has been really, really great.
Definitely. I'd love to chat with you guys about your experience rehearsing for this show. What has the process felt like to you, and what does it mean to take on such heavy and sometimes difficult material?
Well, I'll go. Father is probably, I don't know if I'd say he's the heaviest role I've ever done, because Bruce in Fun Home was pretty darn heavy as well. but certainly one of the heaviest roles. Father isn't fun loving, and so there is a lot of moments where I've had to put myself in that place backstage before going on stage, to have difficult scenes with people that I love and who I've done a lot of shows with, like you, and then this is my first time with Preston. But having to put yourself in that mindset, the rehearsal process, I think, has been one of the most loveliest ones I've had at ALT.
Yeah.
And I think for starters, our entire ensemble are just lovely people from A to Z, and it's been a beautiful experience, I think. And I think it's gone by quickly and smoothly, and there's been lots of organization, and I think that's certainly helped.
Yeah.
What about you, Preston?
I think the rehearsal process, it's a heavier show. There's just a lot of heavy stuff in there, and that's something that I've talked to my family about a little bit, because again, you know, the only shows that I'd done before this are Beauty and the Beast and Winnie the Pooh and Aladdin Jr. Very different content-wise.
Bit of a culture shock, yeah.
Winnie the Pooh, I was Owl in Winnie the Pooh. Yeah, that was 11 years ago about. But yeah, no, I've it was an adjustment, obviously, from that sort of thing, but at the same time, kind of exhilarating in a way, almost, to get to do that for the first time. Really, I've never really done any sort of dramatic acting or performing in this way, and so that was a challenge, but one that excited me in a lot of ways. And so it's like you said, or like I said, it was just something that, you know, I talked to my family about. This is not Winnie the Pooh. This is not Aladdin Jr. This is a little different than what you're going to expect. But to your point, Jacob, there is an element of kind of getting yourself into that headspace, especially before certain scenes, which I know, Jacob, you have maybe more than anybody in the cast, in terms of just the gravity of everything that Father is dealing with and talking about, and his perspective on everything. And so, I mentioned a little bit earlier that scene that you and I share, where it's very heavy and it's extremely dramatic, and that was something that, to me, again, I'd never done before. And so the rehearsal process through it all was exciting in a way, but over the course of the last week and a half, I've just felt the emotion just like skyrocket. I mean, it was there before, but in the last couple of weeks, it has really, really come home, I think, in a lot of ways. And it's been hitting in a lot of different ways, to the point where after, certain scenes, I'll have to just go take a deep breath, or I'll have to just take a step outside. I need to get a drink of water. I have to physically recover almost from some of the material. And, but again, that all of that makes me more excited for tonight, to have an audience, to get to see that, because I think it will only make the entire show better, and I think it will only impact people more.
Without question. I want to talk about this cast for a second. 34 members of this cast, all from different backgrounds, as we said before, and with different talents that they all bring to the table. What has it been like for you guys to work with this group night after night for the last 6 weeks?
It's been wonderful. Like I said earlier, so many lovely people. Some people I've never worked with before. Your husband, Brett, I've never done a show with him, and I find him to be just so charming and kind, and just a happy guy, and he's so easy to work with. And then people like Anna Bond, who is so charming in this show, and I'm sure I've seen her. Well, she was in Sweeney Todd. But she's so delightful and charming, and there are just many other people like that have just added. Everyone's bringing their A game. Everyone's bringing 100%, I think. And for getting to work with the new people, and for me, for this show, a lot of the people are new. And Preston's new for me. It's probably a small handful that I've known for a while. The rest are pretty new to me. Leanne Crandall, I've never worked with her before, and she's delightful.
Yeah.
So just all across the board. And Devlon is so much fun and
Yeah.
so good in this show.
Oh,
So
man.
good.
Oh, man.
And I've known him for a long time, but I've never worked with him. And so I wasn't sure how that was going to go. He's so nice and so kind and so talented. I mean, it's an amazing cast. And I'm leaving out people. I'm trying to think on the spot.
Well, there's 34 of them. So
throw out all their names.
what about you, Preston? What has the last 6 weeks been like for you rehearsing the show?
It's been so special getting to know everybody in the cast. Jacob, you talk about people who you've worked with, who you've not worked with. I was racking my brains, so if I forgot someone, I apologize. But I'm pretty sure that Harrison Stringer and Anna Bonn are the only two people that I have done a show with before this, obviously, because they were in the academy at the same time as I was. And
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure that's it. And so I didn't know really anybody. I knew some people a little bit, but didn't really know anybody that well going into this show. And everyone was so welcoming. And I'm naturally very shy. I don't really put myself out there much. And, you know, it's something that I have to like kind of get over in some ways, originally, at least. Like when I first meet somebody, I'm very shy. And the first note that our fantastic music director, Jennifer Akins, gave me when we first did my song, The Night Goldman spoke at Union Square, the first note she gave me in front of the whole cast was like, a little less timid. And I was like, okay. So
Got it.
The arc from that to now, to where I feel totally confident in rehearsal, totally just comfortable with all of these people, with this entire cast, off stage and on, obviously, but off stage too as well, has been really, really special, to the point where I feel so welcomed, and I feel so like, I just feel like I've known these people for so much longer than I have in reality. And so that's a special thing. And man, the talent on display, I mean, my goodness, you mentioned Devlon, he's spectacular. If I start naming names, I will forget, or I'll just drone on and try to name everybody's name, and that'll bore everybody watching this show. But that's the truth. There is so much talent. And Annika, you're incredible.
Thank you.
Like, you are fantastic in this role as
you.
mother. And I feel like we need a show where somebody interviews you over this, because you have been absolutely spectacular in your role as well, and really a powerhouse,
Thank you.
as is the rest of the cast. And I think that's something that people are going to take away from it, because, you know, Jacob, you mentioned the music of the show is like, it's really, really, it's really impactful, and you need a special type of singers, you need special type of musicians, and that's why we have a 25-piece orchestra behind us. And I think the cast that we have does it justice. And I think the cast that we have is just going to really, really shock a lot of people who, like me, did not know anything about Ragtime before getting into it, and they're going to show up and they may not know a whole lot of details getting into the show. And I think they're going to be just unbelievably floored by intermission, by halfway through the first act, and then by the end of the show. I mean, it's really gonna be special. So
it's very, very exciting. And I feel so privileged to get to work with both of you. I feel so privileged to be cast in this show in any capacity. This is the first time in ALT's 98-year history that we've had a 25-piece orchestra. So exciting, and the perfect show to do that with, because this music is so full and sweeping and joyful, and haunting, and just all of the things. It would be a different show without that many orchestra members on stage. It needs that fullness. And those of you who are coming to see the show, you're going to be blown away by how much that sound fills the space. It's so wonderful. This is more than twice the amount of orchestra members we typically have in musicals at ALT. So we're very, very grateful to have every single one of them on stage, led brilliantly by Jennifer Akins, of course. Guys, the last show on ALT's main stage was Disney's Frozen. Now we're doing Ragtime. Our 98th season, like I've mentioned before, is packed with all different kinds of shows to appeal to as many of our community members as possible. Why do you guys think it's important for ALT to produce a show like Ragtime with the material involved?
Well, it definitely plays into what we're experiencing in our country right now with the three different families. I don't know if we spelled that out, but you have the upper class New Yorker family, the Harlem group, and then the immigrant group, and how they're all colliding against each other or with each other, how they're being better people because of their interactions with each other, how they're learning from each other and learning to love people more by the commingling of not always what you are comfortable with and not always what you're exposed to. And that's all what Ragtime is about, is mingling of those different cultures and skin colors and nationalities. And it's not always pleasant in Ragtime, but there is some definite growing amongst the characters because of that. I mean, even Father, I'm pretty much with the New Rochelle group until the very end, but even he gets exposed to a different crowd by the time the show's over.
Right.
And I think he's better for it.
Absolutely. You know, there's something that Jason has said over and over again, that our audiences, every single person in that room at one point or another during the show needs to feel uncomfortable and should feel uncomfortable. And I think that's something really important that we're trying to get across with the message of this show. That, you know, I mentioned in the Globe News article that came out last week that I've never made a change in my life without feeling uncomfortable first. You just feel that need that something isn't right, something needs to change, and then you're motivated to make that change. And I think this show does a really excellent job in a really beautiful artistic way of encouraging people to look at issues from a different perspective than you might normally look at it from, and encourage you to maybe enhance your compassion for a certain group or a certain ideal, or look at something in a different light. What do you think, Preston?
Yeah, you talk about that level of, you know, feeling uncomfortable as an audience member. And I think that there are some people who would say, you know, I go to the movies to turn my brain off and have fun. I go to the theater to turn my brain off and have fun. I just want to enjoy it. And that's fine, but you're not experiencing art. You're not experiencing anything that imitates life itself. You're not, I mean, life is uncomfortable. Life has moments like this. Real life has moments like this. This show is set in 1906, and we're dealing with a lot of similar issues in 2025 right now. And I think that thinking about those real life instances that kind of mirror what happened in the show. I don't want to spoil anything, but you know, you mentioned we have the three kind of groups that are kind of intermingling throughout the show. The New Rochelle people, they're kind of rich upper class white people. You have immigrants of all shapes and sizes in the show. And then you've got kind of the Harlem African-American group in the show as well. And they're all kind of intermingling, and culturally that is what the world is. That's what at least America is even today. And for me, I get a little bit emotional, or I did last night at least, kind of just thinking about not even necessarily what happens in the narrative of the show, but how it mirrors what happens in real life. I was thinking about, you know, racial violence that we see happen very regularly in our country today, and outside of our country as well. I was thinking about, you know, the persecution of immigrants disproportionately happening throughout the country, and how all of that is sort of kind of at the forefront of our headlines today. And, you know, also thinking about privileged white people who don't necessarily have to think about those things, and people who don't want to think about those things and choose not to think about those things in real life. And that's what we see in the show as well. And so when you're watching this show, I mean, you get uncomfortable because it mirrors what happens in real life, and maybe you get uncomfortable because it mirrors what happens in real life that you try not to think about maybe sometimes. But I think it's important to think about that stuff, and that's why a show like Ragtime is important. That's why a show like Ragtime can be impactful, is because it does mirror some of the things that happen in your daily life, or that you may see on the news, or that may be affecting people you care about. And maybe it's things that you don't think about all the time. Maybe it's things you don't want to think about all the time. But art's job isn't necessarily always to just entertain you. I think that the best art makes you feel things you didn't expect to feel, and makes you think about things you've never thought about before. And I think Ragtime does both of those things really well. And I think that hopefully audiences will experience that effect.
Absolutely. I think art unifies by confronting. I think there's so much power in the confrontation of, you've bought a ticket, you're here in the theater, we've got you now. We're going to confront you with this thing that all of us are dealing with, whether you want to or not, you should. And I think especially for white folks, you know, who have privilege, I think there's so much power in seeing privileged white characters using their privilege to go against the grain and do what's right. And I think that happens a lot in this show with multiple characters, on top of, you know, sort of being confronted with, you know, what our friends in the African-American community, what our friends in the immigrant community have had to face, the prejudices and the injustices that they've had to face. And Ragtime, I think, does a really beautiful job of artistically telling these stories. All of that said, you should walk out feeling a sense of conviction about things. If you don't, though, you will absolutely be entertained by the music and the feeling in the room, the energy, the beautiful acting. You know, there is all of that. Because like you said, Preston, there are people who are like, I don't go to the theater for that. I want to go and I want to hear good music and I want to be entertained and all of that. All of that said, you can shut your brain off if you choose to do that. I don't recommend that, but you can absolutely shut your brain off and just enjoy this incredible 25-piece orchestra, the soaring voices, the incredible acting, the beautiful minimalism of the set. Can we talk about Noah Lang and his lighting design? I was just chatting with him. He was working on some light cues before we started Thursdays at 3, and I was just raving about his dedication to what he does here at ALT. You know, the set, as Jason has said out and about in his different interviews this past week and a half, the set is incredibly minimalistic, which is inspired by the New York City Center's production that eventually got taken to Broadway and is now at Lincoln Center. It was very minimalistic when Jason saw it in New York last November. And it inspired him that, oh, okay, well, if we're not going to have a giant ship on stage, if we're not going to have a giant house pulled on stage, then this is actually something that we could feasibly do. And the story doesn't lose anything by losing these massive set pieces that are represented by a ship is represented by a ladder and a house is represented by an archway. And it's completely effective. You're not losing anything with that. But the lighting, isn't it, you know, the other night at rehearsal, I'll chat with you guys about this for a quick second. The other night at rehearsal, Noah had the Act 1 lighting cues completely finished, and Act 2 was not done yet. Did you guys feel the complete energy shift when we started Act 2? The fact that Act 1 had this gorgeous lighting, you feel it on stage, you can just feel the beauty of it. It sort of forces you deeper into the world that we're supposed to be living in. And then Act 2 started and it was just the house lights. I felt like a fish out of water. It was like, what are we doing? Did you guys feel that too?
Yeah, I definitely noticed it.
Yeah, it was just a different experience, especially doing it in the same rehearsal from one act to the other. You felt the difference. You felt the difference.
It really highlighted for me we talk all the time about everyone has their job to do, whether it's a crew person moving a set piece or a lead singing their, you know, big ballad, or, you know, the AD up calling the show. The lighting, huge factor, huge factor. It was just such a complete difference from Act 1 to Act 2, and it just made me appreciate Noah and his team and the hard work that they do behind the scenes.
Well, all the painting too is beautiful
Yeah.
and so intricate and detailed with the flooring and the walls and the fences. I mean, I'm just amazed at how good that job they do with their skills.
I think that minimalist set design and the way that it's presented. Jason mentioned something along these lines a couple nights ago. I can't remember when, but it highlights the music. It serves the music in a way because you're not distracted by anything. Not that a set should distract you, but you're thinking about the music alone. And because we have a minimalist set, you can see 25-piece orchestra behind us throughout the entire show. You can see the entirety in all of its grandeur and its presentation, that it really commands musically, and that I think allows the show to be what it is in a unique way that other shows may not have.
Absolutely. And I want to tell everyone, we're going to have in the Turk lobby during the show, make sure you check this out when you come and see it. Panhandle Plains Historical Museum, as many people know, is shut down right now, but they have the ability to sort of put traveling exhibits in different places where they're allowed. We will have an exhibit from PPHM in the Turk lobby during the show with fashions from that time period that we are exhibiting on stage, the turn of the century, early 1900s. I want to show you guys a quick video of the lobby display that's set up in the Turk lobby that you can expect to see when you come. So cool to see those up close, and it just sort of adds to the environment that you're walking into, what you can expect, what you're going to see on stage during Ragtime. The costumes for this show we've rented from the Lyric Theater Company in Oklahoma City. They're absolutely stunning, and we're talking about down to the teeny tiniest detail, the hats, the dresses, the shoes. Everything is absolutely beautiful and really represents the time period and the world that you're going to be ensconced in for the 2 hours and 45 minutes that you're here. It is a long show, but it is worth every single second. I am completely biased, but in my opinion, you're not going to spend any better time anywhere else. Okay, you guys are both so incredibly talented and have so much to offer on stage. I want to know what it means to you to have an artistic outlet and a community like ALT.
Jacob, me, or who
I'll go.
I can go if you want.
It means a great deal, and there's so many of us who want to be involved in the arts, and we do have quite a few different organizations in town to be involved.
Yeah.
But ALT is one of those. It's easier to be involved where you're not being. How am I trying to say this? If you're with a symphony or with a chorus, you have to be picked and to participate. Which I guess we have to be picked too to audition. But you can also work backstage. You can do all kinds of things to volunteer your time. And so, I know for many of us, it's our home away from home. It's our chosen family. It's where we choose to be in the evenings. And most all of us have day jobs where we turn around and wake up and go to work. And then how fulfilling is it to be able to act and to tell a story and to be able to sing and to be able to use that expression to such a high level that ALT provides is so refreshing. And I also wanted to say the show's very funny too.
It is.
As all heavy. There are quite a few scenes that are pretty darn funny. So it's a real good mix.
Yeah, it does strike that balance. I think maybe like the heaviness of it all is something that is so unique in a way and new that we maybe undersell the funny, the comedy that exists in the show, and it's pretty prevalent actually throughout the show. There's so many little moments, especially with Jason's direction that we've just added into the script. It's been fantastic.
He always directs brilliantly, but there's something about this show that I think I just think this is one of his best, and he's done a lot of bests, but I've been so impressed with his direction and blocking and leadership with this show.
Yeah, this is no small task. It's a massive show, and just so many elements involved. You know, sometimes I wish that people could see. I have been Jason's friend for a very long time. It wasn't until I started actually working here day to day where I was able to see the 20,000 directions that he's pulled in every single second of the day. It's a lot. It's a lot, especially during the run of a show, and especially during the run of a show like this, with so many different moving parts that all need attention and all deserve the same amount of attention. And you've got, you know, one person who luckily has the ability to delegate tasks and things out to people who he can trust. But
it's important to also notice how kind he is in everything he does.
Yeah.
He's pulled in all these directions, but he does so with kindness and humor.
Mm-hmm.
As we learned a couple nights ago, Jacob, you and I both.
Yes, Preston and I may have missed a cue and left Annika hanging by herself on the stage, and Jason was very nice about it.
Jason happened to be backstage for that. Well, honestly, I have to say, of all the scenes you could have missed, it's for anyone who, most of you guys don't know, but it's just a crossover scene where the three of us walk across the stage and all three of us have a line that we say. And so it really wasn't like they left me out there to do an entire scene by myself. But I did look schizophrenic. I just walked across just talking to myself and exited.
But Jason was so kind about it, and as were you, Annika. Like, there are a lot of people who would have been much more upset about something like that. And you know, Jacob and I talked about it.
I was like, "You missed it."
Glad it happened a couple nights before we had an audience. So
oh my gosh, that's what.
With an audience.
Just so you'll know, Preston and I were back there about 20 minutes ahead of time.
I was ready.
Ready.
We guys were just sitting there 20 minutes before.
I walked back there and it looked like y'all had been there for an hour just waiting. Oh my gosh. Brett joked that if it did happen again, that I should just say all three lines and just look completely nuts. Just like I'm just having a breakdown.
That would work.
Yeah. If you guys miss it again, that's totally what I'm going to do. I'm just kidding. No, it has been such a great time working with both of you. There's a little like tinge of sadness for me that we're getting. Like, I know I'm so excited to open the show, but I feel like the closer we get to opening, the closer we get to closing. Is that insane?
Oh, you got to fight it. Don't think about it.
Just feel it when you need to feel it on stage. Let it.
That's right.
Feel it when your character is sad.
Mm-hmm. That's right. Oh my gosh. It's just been such a privilege to get to do this show. I mean, the fact that ALT is doing Ragtime, period, is just wild. It's absolutely insane.
Well, we're talking about a show, and correct me if you think I'm wrong, and that's perfectly fine, that would you say is on the scale of something like Les Mis?
Oh, I absolutely would. It's
a ginormous show, with huge moving pieces and scenes, and so it's a huge undertaking. It's something to be very proud of for ALT.
Very proud of. And you know, places could choose, other theaters could choose to take this on, and you know, depending on what talent you have available, what resources you have, it could be good, it could be bad. And the fact that not only do we get to do Ragtime, but we get to do Ragtime justice and do it justice in a time like this that we're all living in, where the message is arguably even more important than it was in the late 90s. You know, I that could be argued, but I just feel like it packs such a powerful punch given the state of our world right now.
Agreed.
Yeah. So you're in for it. When you come to Ragtime, you are in for such a pleasurable, in my opinion, a pleasurable evening. Beautiful, beautiful music, incredible acting. ALT has used all of its resources to be able to put this production on in the way that it deserves. And so many different people have come together and committed to this show to do it justice and to entertain our community and make our community think a little bit and maybe touch your hearts a little bit or a lot of it. It's just a beautiful show. Yes. That too. But I'm so grateful to both of you for joining me today. I know it's right in the middle of the day, and you're busy. It's preview night, and so I'm really grateful that you guys took the time to chat with me today. I cannot wait to see you just a little bit for preview night. Okay, y'all make sure and get your tickets for Ragtime if you haven't already. Again, tonight is buy one get one free tickets. Students, if you have your student ID, are always buy one get one free. So there's no excuse to not come see Ragtime here at ALT. Check out tickets through the Amarillo Public Library or the Canyon Area Library or the Carson County Library. We want to make sure we get as many people in to see the show. And if you do come and see the show tonight, tomorrow, Saturday, or Sunday, spread the word. Spread the word. We want to make sure that we get the final weekend completely sold out, if at all possible. We just want as many people in Amarillo to see this show as we can, because it's an important show, and it's an important show for ALT. So help us spread the word. Any final words from you two?
Just tell your friends, tell your family. Important, poignant, funny, harrowing, beautiful music. Come see this wonderful show that 34 of your community members and 25 orchestra members have come together as a family to put together such beautiful art for you to enjoy. And it comes from our heart.
Definitely. Preston?
That was very well said by both of you. I don't know that I have anything to add of value. I didn't sleep last night because I was so excited to have an audience. So I think I'm probably going to go take like a power nap before we have to be there tonight, so that I'm ready to go. But yeah, come to the show. It's going to be fantastic. It's going to blow you away, whether you know the show or whether you don't know the show like me. Really, I think everybody will be really impressed by what we've been able to put together.
We're so excited to see you guys at the theater. Y'all have a great weekend, and hopefully we will see you this weekend at ALT. Thank you guys again for joining me. We'll see you next week.
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye-bye.